Morning, good afternoon. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening sa inyo lahat. Ako nga pala si Sir Danny na magdidiscuss sa inyo ng first pre-boards natin ng Management Services. Actually, dalawa kaming may handle nito. Kasama ko si Sir John. Pero ako muna ang magdidiscuss sa inyo ng first pre-boards natin. Actually, itong first pre-boards ay ginawa ko to challenge you na mag-solve na mabilis. Short problems ng karamihan dito, madali lang siyang i-solve. Yung iba lang na-overwhelm. Actually, nakausap ko nga yung ibang nag-take ng face-to-face natin, nahirapan daw sila. Pero I challenge you, try nyong i-solve to after ng discussion natin or after a week. Basta mapanood nyo to, makita nyo ano yung reason, paano natin sinolve, tapos itry yung i-resolve. Promise, madami kayong matututunan dito at saka mas magiging efficient kayo in solving. Yun talagang gusto kong malaman nyo dito. Okay. Number 1. In which of the following aspects is managerial accounting similar to financial accounting? Ano yung similarities nila? Users of report. Similar ba sa users of report? No. Dahil ang gumagamit ng financial accounting ay external users. Managerial accounting, internal users. Tama ba? Kasi that is management. Next, type of data. Ano bang data pinaprovide ng financial accounting? That is quantitative data. Tama ba? Ang managerial accounting pinaprovide niya ay quantitative and qualitative data. So that is not a similarity sa kanilang dalawa. Next, emphasis between past and future. Sino bang may emphasis sa past? That is financial accounting. Kasi tandaan nyo, financial accounting ay based on historical data. Actually, managerial accounting din, based on historical data. Pero ang emphasis nila ay magkaiba. Diba? Financial accounting is to report on the historical data. Managerial accounting is to project future data, 'di ba? Projection, forecasting ang ginagawa natin dito sa managerial accounting to help managers decide kasi ang decision nila ay hindi pa nagagawa, 'di ba? So gusto natin makita ano ba yung dapat ilang gawin. 'Di ba? So ginagawa ng managerial accounting na provide tayo ng data for managers to help them decide on which actions they should take. So ang emphasis nila ay magkaiba. So magkaiba 'yan. Reliance on accounting database. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, similar tayo ng pinagbabasehan na information, accounting database. Pero magkaiba ang ginagawa natin dun sa data na yon. Sa financial accounting, ginagawa natin, we report on historical data. Managerial accounting, we use historical data to project the future, to help managers decide on future actions. Tama ba? So letter B ang sagot sa number 1. Number 2, dito maraming nalito. Number 2, is limited to CPAs. Tama ba yan? That is not true. Di ba? Hindi limited sa CPAs ang management consultancy. So, ibig sabihin ng letter A and letter D ay not true. Dito, maraming nalito. Isa-isay natin ha. Is not limited to CPAs. Tama ba yan? That is true. Hindi siya limited sa CPAs ang management consultancy. Kahit fresh grad ka lang. Basta may competency ka to do management consultancy, you can do management consultancy. Letter C, can be practiced by anybody. Anybody. So, ibig sabihin kahit sino pwede mag-management consultancy. Tama ba yun? That is not true. Dahil tandaan nyo, kailangan natin ng competency. Di ba? May integrity, may competence to do management consultancy. Tama ba? So, hindi lahat kayang gumawa ng management consultancy. Ang pinaka-accurate answer dito ay letter B. Not limited to CPA because that is always true. Ito letter C, not always true yan because there are certain circumstances na hindi lahat kayang gumawa or kayang mag-provide ng management consultancy. Tama ba? Malinaw sana sa inyo yun. Number 3, management or managerial accounting differs from financial accounting in that financial accounting is. So, ang tinatanong dito financial accounting. Sana tinapos yung basahin to kasi minsan, ibang students, nakita nila na managerial accounting, hinahanap na kagad nila, ano yung nagde-define sa managerial accounting dito sa choices. Pero tandaan nyo, hinahanap natin, financial accounting. So, ano ba ang financial accounting dito? Tingnan natin. Involve more heavily in decision analysis? That is false. Managerial accounting yan. Future-oriented. Managerial accounting din yan. Concerned primarily with financial reporting. That is financial accounting. Concerned with qualitative information. Qualitative bang financial accounting? No. Managerial accounting din yan. So that is letter C. Yan ang nagde-describe sa financial accounting. Okay. Number 4. Which of the following is not an objective of management accounting? Okay. Letter A, measuring the performance of managers of subunits. That is true. Ginagawa natin yan. Providing information for planning and decision making. That is also true. Providing assistance in directing and controlling operations. That is also true. Eto, dito tayo, maraming nali dito. Maximization of profit and minimization of cost. Hindi yan ang objective ng management accounting. Yan ay objective ng management. Management yan. Sila ang nagde-decide kung paano nila gagawin ang maximization and minimization of cost. Ang objective natin ay tulungan sila to assist. Hindi tayo ang nagde-decide for them. Okay ba? Sana malinaw sa inyo yan. That is the goal of management, not management accounting. Okay. At break-even point. So, alam natin at break-even point, ang ating operating income ay, ano operating income natin? 0, di ba? Alam din natin ang ating operating income ay equal to revenues minus variable cost minus fixed cost is equal to operating income. So, ang operating income natin ay 0. Ilipat natin sa kabila ng variable cost and fixed cost. Alam natin na ang ating revenue ay equal to variable cost plus fixed cost. Ano ba ang variable cost and fixed cost? This is the total cost. Yan, total cost yan. So, ang tinatanong sa atin, revenues. Revenues is equal to the total cost, di ba? Isa pa, sulat ko ulit. Revenues. Di ba, pag nagsasolve tayo, ganito. Revenues. Tapos, meron tayong variable cost. Dinideduct natin sa kanya. Meron tayong contribution margin. Meron tayong fixed cost. Tapos, meron tayong operating income na 0. So, revenues is equal to the variable cost and fixed cost. Kasi yan ay equal. Ibig sabihin yan, ang ating contribution margin din dito ay equal sa fixed cost. At break-even point, ha? Diba? Nakikita nyo ba? Equal yan, no? Kaya paano makuha nila yung 0? Okay. So, pero ang tinatanong sa atin dito, revenue. So, revenues is equal to variable plus fixed cost. In determining whether plan goals are being met, a manager is performing the function of controlling. Controlling, may evaluation na nangyayari. Ang planning pa lang yan, motivating. Sa day-to-day operation yan, follow-up. Walang ganyan. So, ito yan. Ang sagot natin, controlling. Okay. Difference between variable cost and fixed cost. So, ano bang variable cost? Ang variable cost nagva-vary in total. Diba? In total. Pero ang fixed cost, nagva-vary ba siya in total? No. Fixed nga eh. Pero ang per unit niya, nagva-vary dahil ang ating fixed cost per unit ay naka-base sa ating units. So, fixed cost per unit is equal to fixed cost na in total divided by units. Makuha natin dyan, fixed cost per unit. Tama ba? So, since nagva-vary ang ating units, nagva-vary rin ang ating fixed cost per unit. Okay ba? Nakuha niyo yun? So, sino ang tama dito? Variable cost per unit fluctuate. That is already false. Ang variable cost per unit natin is fixed. Variable cost per units are fixed over the relevant range. That is true. And fixed cost per unit varies. That is also true. So, letter B ang sagot. Pero tingnan natin. Variable cost per unit varies over the relevant range. True. Diba? Total variable cost varies over the relevant range. That is true. Pero fixed in the long term, may ganun ba? That is false. Variable cost per unit change in varying increments. Varying increments, ibig sabihin, meron tayong 1 unit, meron tayong 2 units, meron tayong 3 units. Ang ating variable cost, total variable cost, sa 1 unit ay 5. Sa 2 units, we have 9. Sa ating 3 units, meron tayong ilan? Sabihin natin, 12. Ang ating variable cost per unit sa 1 unit ay 5. Variable cost per unit natin dito, ilan? Ang difference nila is 4. Difference nila, 3. So, nadadagdagan yung variable cost natin ng magkakaibang value. Kasi nga, varying increments. Tama ba yan? Ganyan ba ang ating variable cost per unit? Ganyan ba siya? Di ba hindi? Hindi yan ganyan. Hindi yan totoo. So, that is also false. Di ba? Dahil ang ating variable cost ay always constant per unit. So, hindi sila nagbabago. Hindi ganito. Hindi totoo yan. Walang ganyan. Walang ganyan. Okay? So, letter B ang sagot natin. Okay. So, Paladin Corporation is a service center for the month of May. Paladin had the following operating statistics. So, meron tayong sales, meron tayong operating income, meron tayong net profit after taxes, meron din tayong total assets available, tapos shareholders' equity. Tapos minimum required rate of return. So, hinahanap natin dito, ano yung true. Tapos, yun mo natin choices. Return on investment and residual income. So, tingnan natin kung ano yung tama. So, una, try mo natin, residual income. Operating income, 25,000. So, ayan ang gagamitin natin. Kailan natin ginagamit tong net profit after taxes? For EVA. Di ba? For EVA yan. Itong total assets available, yan ang gagamitin natin. Hindi yung shareholders equity. Since, ayan ang basis natin. So, that is 500,000 times 6% equal to 30,000. Deduct natin. Makuha natin ay 5,000 na residual income. So, that is letter B. Itong operating income, 25,000. Divided by total assets available, makuha natin ang ROI na 5%. Meron bang 5% dyan? Wala, di ba? So, malito, malito, malito. So, ang tamang sagot ay letter B. Okay, number 9. The Motor Division of Super Truck Corporation uses 5,000 carburetors per month in its production of automotive engines. It presently buys all of the carburetors it needs from 2 outside suppliers at an average cost of 100 pesos. The Carburetor Division of Super Truck Corporation manufactures the exact type of carburetor that the Motor Division requires. So, nagpro-provide din tayo within the organization itself, pero binibili natin siya outside at 100 pesos. The Carburetor Division presently operating at its capacity. So, ibig sabihin nito, lahat ng pinoproduce nating 15,000 units ay nabebenta natin lahat sa labas. Wala tayong nabebenta within the organization. So, ayan, binibenta siya at 106 pesos per unit. Assume that the Carburetor Division would not incur any selling cost on units that are transferred internally. What is the minimum transfer price? So, ano bang minimum transfer price? Minimum transfer price is equal to the incremental cost plus the opportunity cost, di ba? Opportunity cost, bakit? Dahil meron tayong sales for gun. Tama? Kung may sales for gun tayo, ito yung contribution margin natin na sana makukuha natin kung binenta natin siya sa labas. Pero since nag-transfer tayo internally, ito ang ating may incur lang na cost, incremental cost. So, tingnan niya natin. How about maximum cost? Maximum transfer price. Ang maximum transfer price, yan ay ang lower between selling price outside and selling price if sold within. 'Di ba? Selling price to ng ating internal division pag binenta rin niya sa labas. Okay? Pero ito yung selling price outside if kukuha tayo sa outside suppliers. So, tingnan natin. Ang maximum transfer price natin, meron tayong selling price from outside customers na 100, selling price of Carburetor Division na 106. So, ang ating maximum transfer price ay lower of 100 and 106, which is 100 pesos. Okay. Opportunity cost, sabi ko nga sa inyo, opportunity cost is the contribution margin na sana makukuha natin pero hindi na natin makukuha dahil hindi na natin pagbebentahan yung outside customers. So, paano natin makukuha yan? Meron tayong selling price na 106, meron tayong variable cost na 70 and 10. Kasi nga as if binenta natin sa labas, di ba? So, ito yung opportunity cost natin, 26. Incremental cost, 70. Bakit 70 na lang? Dahil hindi nga tayo mag-incur ng selling cost sa ating ibebenta within or internally. So, etong variable selling cost, wala na yan. Ito lang may incur natin, 70. So, 26 plus 70 is equal to 96. Tandaan nyo rin, pag tinanong what is the negotiating range, that is 96 to 100. Okay? GNX company wants to develop a cost estimating equation for its monthly cost of electricity. It has the following data. So, ang hinahanap sa atin, fixed cost. So, tingnan mo natin, ano yung lowest natin dito? Lowest natin, 700. Pero, titingnan nyo, ano yung cost niya? 10,500. Ano yung highest, highest activity natin? 2,000. Anong cost niya? 10,250 lang. Hindi ba parang may discrepancy? Di ba? Kung titingnan natin, ito yung May. Ito, 700 na hours, direct labor hours. Pero yung cost natin sa kanya, 10,500. May kita nyo, lahat ng data natin, pag in-scatter graph natin siya, may trend line yan, no? May sinusundan siyang linya, pag ganyan. Ito, nahihiwalay. Para siya outside the relevant range. So, ibig sabihin yan, ang nangyayari dito sa May be caused by something external. Outside of the trend. Diba? So, we ignore this. Ignore yan. Because that is an outlier. Kapag outlier, ini-ignore natin siya. So, para makuha natin ang variable cost per unit, we need to get the difference of the cost and the difference of the activity. So, that is 3,600 divided by 800. Makukuha natin ay, actually, this is 4.5. Siguro na round off lang sa Excel. So, that's 4.5 variable cost per unit. Makuha natin. So, kunin muna natin ang ating fixed cost. Isa-substitute natin siya dito sa cost na to. So, makukuha natin 10,250 minus 4.5 minus 4.5 na variable cost per unit times yung activity natin, which is 2,000. Makuha natin dito, 4.5 times 2,000, that is 9,000. Makuha natin ay ilan? Ano makuha natin? This is 1,250 na fixed cost. Ganyan siya. Okay? Nakasunod kayo dyan? Okay. Next, number 11. When monthly production volume is constant and sales volume is less than production. So, sabi niya dito, production daw natin ay constant. Pero, sales volume niya is less than production. So, ibig sabihin, production is greater than sales. Tama ba? Income determined with the variable costing procedures will, yung income daw ng variable natin, variable costing, ay, ano? Di ba pag production is greater than sale, ibig sabihin niya ng ating absorption net income ay greater than variable costing. Di ba? Income under variable costing. So, ang sagot dito ay letter C. Ang variable costing natin na net income will always be less than those determined under variable absorption costing, I mean. Di ba? Mas malaki ang absorption kaysa sa variable. So, that is letter C. Okay, number 12. When an organization is operating above the break-even point, the degree or amount that the sales may decline before losses are incurred is called, ang tawag natin dyan, margin of safety. Tama ba? Yan ay sales minus break-even point in peso or in units na sales. Makuha natin dyan ay MOS. Tama ba? Next. Number 13. VAMPS Inc. Cost of goods manufactured during 2025. So, cost of goods manufactured daw. Paano ba natin kinukuha yan? We have the beginning direct materials na 50,000 plus purchases minus ending direct material na 26,000. Makuha natin direct materials used na 178,000 plus direct labor. But direct material labor, direct labor lang yan. Manufacturing overhead na 30,000. Makuha natin ang manufacturing cost na 248,000. Diba? Tapos add natin yung work in process beginning and less yung work in process ending na 10,000. 240,000. Alternative solution, bigay tayo. Try natin siya i-solve ngayon using T account. So, meron tayong T account sa dalawang relevant dito. Direct materials And, ano isa? Work in process, tama ba? So, ito yung gusto natin makuha eh. Ito yung cost of goods manufactured eh. Diba? So, meron tayong beginning inventory na 50. Meron tayong purchases na 154. Meron tayong ending inventory na 26. So, itong makuha natin dito is equal to 50 plus 154 minus 26, 178. Yan ang ating 178. Yan ang ating direct materials used na papasok sa ating work in process inventory. Ano bang beginning natin ng work in process inventory? That is 2,000. Tapos meron tayong ending na ilan? 10,000. Tapos meron tayong direct materials, direct manufacturing labor na ano? 40. Meron din tayong overhead na 30. So pag pinag-add natin to, makukuha natin 2 plus 178 plus 40 plus 30 minus 10, that is equal to 240,000. Same lang sa nakuha natin dito sa kabila. Ayan, 240,000. In multi-product situation, when sales mix shift towards the product with the highest contribution margin. So, ibig sabihin daw, sales mix natin, for example, meron tayong dalawang products, si buko pandan, tapos meron tayong buko juice. Ang contribution margin natin dito ay, sabihin natin 10. Dito, 5. Ayan. Tapos meron tayong sales mix na dito, nabebenta natin 60%. Dito ay 40%. Ayan. Tapos sabi niya dito, sales mix shifts towards the highest contribution margin. So, tumaas pa. Tingnan nga natin. Sabihin natin meron tayong fixed cost na 100 pesos na lang. 100 pesos lang. 100 pesos. Tingnan natin. Tapos naging 70% ang ating sales mix sa buko pandan. Tapos yung sales mix natin sa buko juice ay naging 30% na lang. Ibig sabihin nito, ang ating weighted average contribution margin dito sa unang scenario natin ay 10 times 60%, 6. Tapos 5 times 40%, that is 2. 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. Yan ang ating weighted average contribution margin. Tapos, divide nga natin yun sa 100. So, 100 divided by 8, makukuha natin ay 12.5 units. Yan ang ating break-even point. Diba? Try naman natin sa kabila. 10 times 70%, that is ilan? That is, tama ba na 7 pesos yan? Diba? 5 times 30%, that is 1.5. 1.5 plus 7, that is equal to 8.5. Tama? So, ganun ulit. Kunin natin break-even point, divided by 100, divided by 100 divided by 8.5, that is equal to, ilan? 11.76. Diba? Nakita nyo, bumaba, nag-decrease ang ating break-even point. So, ang sagot natin dito, letter B. Total revenues will decrease. Tataas dapat. Kasi tumaas yung, doon tayo sa mas mataas yung income eh. Diba? Mas mataas yung sales. Tataas yung total revenues natin. Diba? Total contribution margin will decrease? No. Doon nga tayo sa mataas eh. Hindi yan. Total operating income will decrease? No. Hindi yan totoo. Letter B ang sagot. Break-even quantity will decrease. Ano nakalagay dito? Hindi ko mabasa eh. Okay. Ang hinahanap sa atin dito, variable cost per unit. Or variable cost per unit to. Wes Anderson Corporation reported sales revenue of 800,000. Ito. Tapos, meron tayong contribution margin na 400,000. Meron tayong fixed cost na 300,000. Ibig sabihin yan, meron tayong sales volume na 50,000. Okay, paano natin gagawin to? I-squeeze natin siya. Di ba alam natin na ang difference ng sales at ng contribution margin, ito yung nasa gitna nila, yung variable cost. So, squeeze natin 800 minus 400, makuha natin ang variable cost na 400,000. Tama? 400,000 divided by the units. Ito, sales volume natin. Makuha natin ang variable cost per unit na 8. Ganun lang siya, napakadali, di ba? Okay, number 16. For budgeting and control purposes, the accountant of a company is in the process of estimating the variable cost per hour and fixed cost of an operating automated equipment. Data for the past 12 months of operation have been gathered as follows. So, meron tayo dito number of hours, number of cost, ito sum of the hours multiplied by the sum of cost. So, alam natin na ang gagawin natin dito ay least squares method. So, ano ba itong number of observation? Diba ito yung n? Ito yun, no? May dalawa tayong equation na ginagamit. Ito yung equation 1 and equation 2. Meron tayong sum of y, which is sum of the cost, times the number of observation, times a, plus sum of b, ay sum of x, which is the number of hours. Diba? Yan ang ating independent variable times b. Sum of xy is equal to sum of x, a, times sum of x squared times b. So, isa-isahin muna natin. Ano ba itong sum of r's? Ito yung sum of, sum of x. Sum of cost, this is sum of y. Sum of r's multiplied by the sum of cost, that is sum of xy. Sum of r squared, so that is sum of x squared. Tama ba? So, gagawin natin dito is to substitute lang natin yung values na yan to solve for the variable cost per hour. Ano ba yung variable cost per hour? That is, B. Solve for V ang gagawin natin dito. So, yan. Substitute lang natin siya. So, ang gusto natin ay isolve for B. So, kailangan natin makuha or matanggal si A. Diba? How do we eliminate A? So, maghahanap tayo ng number na pwedeng i-multiply natin dito sa mas maliit na equation para mag-cancel out silang dalawa pag dineduct natin. So, paano natin gagawin yon? We think of a number that we multiply by the first equation so that etong value nila ay magsa-same. So, that is 840 divided by 12 is equal to 70. Diba? 840 divided by 12 is equal to 70. So, pag pinag-multiply ko to, itong first equation by 70, makuha ko, ayan, 70 times 9,000. Tapos dito rin sa kabila, 12,000A plus 840B times 70. Equal pa rin sila, tama ba? Hindi nagbago yung equation natin. Equal pa rin yan. Multiply kasi natin siya by both sides. So, makuha natin dyan ay 630,000 is equal to 840A plus 58,800. So, ang gagawin na natin next ay i-deduct natin silang dalawa. Deduct natin yung value nito. So, 655 minus 630, that is 25,000. Cancel. Itong difference nila, that is 5,000B. So, 25,000 divided by 5,000. So, B is equal to 25,000 divided by 5,000, which is equal to 5 VC per unit. Ganun lang siya. Substitute na yung value. Kasi di ba normally kapag least squares regression, ang ginagawa, kukunin nyo pa. So, ginawa ko dito, binigay ko sa inyo yung value, isolve nyo na lang. Ganun lang siya. Napakadali, di ba? Okay, number 17. Which of the following statements regarding transfer pricing is false? Ano ba yung transfer pricing nga ulit? Ginagawa siya kapag nagkakaroon ng transfer within the organization itself. So, tingnan natin. Ang false daw when an idle capacity exists, there is no opportunity cost to producing intermediate products for another division. So that is true. Nagkakaroon ng opportunity cost if there is sales for gun from sale to regular customers. So since may idle capacity tayo, hindi tayo makakabawas sa sales from regular customers. So wala tayong opportunity cost. Market-based transfer prices should be reduced by any cost avoided by selling internally rather than externally. Actually, that is true. True rin yan. Diba napakita ko sa inyo kanina na dito. Saan na yan? Saan na yung ating transfer pricing. May kita nyo dito kanina na ang ating minimum transfer price ay 96. Actually, another solution for this is selling price minus the avoidable na cost. Avoidable cost. Makuha natin dyan, 96 pa din. Diba? 106 minus yung avoidable cost natin na 10. 96. Diba? Okay, nandito na tayo. Balik tayo sa number 70. So that is true. That is true pa din. Note, contribution margin is generated by transferring division when variable cost-based transfer prices are used. No contribution margin is generated by transferring division when variable. That is true. 'Di ba? Kasi isipin nyo, nagbenta tayo, sabihin natin may division 1 tayo, division 1. Si division 1 nagbenta kay division 2 at variable cost. So ibig sabihin na to, nagbenta siya, sabihin natin ang variable cost natin ay 10. Binenta niya kay division 2 na 10 pesos din. So ang ating contribution margin dito, 0. Wala tayong contribution margin. Tama ba? So true rin yan. Okay. Letter D. The goal of transfer pricing is to provide segment managers with incentive to maximize profits of their division. So that is false. Diba? Ginagawa natin ng transfer pricing to promote goal congruence. So letter D ang mali. Okay, number 18. In a sell or process further decision, which of the following is irrelevant? So irrelevant daw. Tingnan muna natin. Joint production cost. Actually, yan na yung sagot. Irrelevant yan. Kasi wala na tayong magagawa dyan. Incurred na yan eh. Sunk cost ang tawag natin dyan, di ba? Sunk cost. Additional cost to process, that is relevant. Additional revenues, that is relevant. Avoidable fixed production cost incurred after split up, that is also relevant. Di ba? So, relevant. Ang production, joint production cost, that is irrelevant. Tama? So, that is letter A. Okay, number 19. Break-even analysis. Assume that over the relevant range. Ano bang meron sa relevant range natin? Tingnan natin ha. Are non-linear? No, di ba? That is false. Total cost are unchanged. Di ba nagbabago ang ating total cost? Bakit nagbabago? Dahil ang ating variable cost ay vary. Nagba-vary to. Hindi per unit in total. Ang total variable cost natin nagba-vary in total. Di ba? So this is total fixed cost is equal to total cost. Di ba? Nagba-vary yan. So that is also false. Total fixed costs are non-linear. That is obviously false. So, ang sagot natin dito, unit variable costs are unchanged. Di ba? Discuss na natin kanina yan. Okay. Which of the following is a staff function? So, ano ba staff function? Staff function or staff position ay nagpro-provide ng service to the organization itself. Ang line function nagpro-provide ng service or nagpo-provide ng service sa mga customers. So, they are related sa ating main revenue generating unit. Tama ba? Tingnan natin dito Vice President of Production. Nandun ba siya sa main generating unit natin, main revenue generating unit natin? That is true. Diba? Siya yung gumagawa ng inventory na binibenta natin eh. So, this is a line. Marketing. Ano sa tingin nyo? Nandun ba siya sa ating main goal of selling? That is also a line function. Sila yung may isipin nyo na lang, pag line function, sila yung may connection to the customers itself. Okay. Plant foreman. Line function, staff function. This is a line function also. Kasi yan ay related sa ating production. How about treasurer? Treasurer provides service within the organization. Ang treasurer ba nakikipag-usap ba yan sa customer? Hindi, di ba? So, yan ang ating sagot. Letter C. Okay, number 21. Coppola Company earned 60,000 on sales of 400,000. So, ibig sabihin niya, nag-earn siya or operating income niya at 400,000 sales ay 60,000. Tapos, meron siyang operating income of 70,000 at sales of 450,000. So, ang ating total fixed cost ay 20,000. So, paano natin nakuha yan? Una, ganito. Tandaan nyo, ang ating change in operating income ay equal to the change in contribution margin. Assuming na walang magbabago sa ating fixed cost. Wala naman nagbago sa ating fixed cost dito. Kasi tandaan nyo, isa sa assumption natin yun sa CVP analysis. Tama ba? So, sales, 400,000. Meron tayong operating income na 60. Meron tayong sales na 450,000. Meron tayong operating income na 70,000. Ibig sabihin yan, meron tayong difference kasi 450 minus 400 na 50,000. So, nagkaroon tayo ng increase na 50,000 sales. So, from the 50,000 sales, nagkaroon tayo ng additional na 10,000 operating income. Tandaan natin, this is equal. Kung anong change in operating income natin, yun din ang change in our contribution margin. So, ibig sabihin nito, ito ang na-generate nating contribution margin from 50,000 sales. So, pag kinuha ko ang ating CMR, that is equal to 10,000 divided by 50,000, ang equal niyan dito sa 20% na CMR. So, makukuha ko na to. Itong 80,000. Nakuha yan by multiplying 400,000 times 20%. So, that is 80,000. Squeeze out natin yung difference sila. That is 80,000 minus 60. 20,000 na fixed cost. Same dito. 450,000 times 20%, that is equal to 90,000. Squeeze out natin. 90,000 minus 70 is equal to 20,000. So, yun ang sagot. 20,000. Simple lang siya, di ba? Pero kailangan dito, naiintindihan nyo talaga ano yung nangyayari. Kasi pag hindi nyo maintindihan na ang ating operating income, change in operating income ay also equal to the change in contribution margin. Pag hindi nyo alam to, hindi nyo masasagot tong problem na to. Pero nagets nyo naman sana yung concept, di ba? Kasi itong fixed cost natin, hindi ito nagbabago. Kahit ano ang mangyari, nandyan lang siya. So, ibig sabihin, kapag nagbabago ang ating operating income, nandito sa taas ang cost, itong contribution margin. Kasi ito, nag-vary siya depending sa ating sales, di ba? Sa ating units sold. Tama ba? Ito hindi talaga magbabago yung fixed cost natin. Walang magbabago dyan. Okay? Nagets nyo yan? Sana nagets nyo yan. So, number 22 na tayo. Hobbs is a general manager of the Industrial Product Division. His performance is measured using residual income method. Hobbs is reviewing the following forecasted information for his division next year. So, ang tinatanong sa atin dito, ano daw ang required cost niya? Ano ba yung required cost? Ano daw yung required cost? So, tingnan niya natin. Meron daw siyang residual income na 2,000. Meron siyang imputed interest charge na 12%. Ano daw yung required cost niya para ma-achieve to? So, alam natin yung revenue, 30,000. Alam natin yung asset. Ano yung asset niya? Yung ating operating asset, that is working capital, which is equal to current assets minus current liabilities. Kasi ito yung plant and equipment, this is the non-current assets. Di ba, pag pinag-add natin itong yan lahat, yung current assets minus current liabilities or working capital plus plant and equipment, makukuha natin ay ilan? Is this 19,000? Ay 19 million? Tama, di ba? This is 19 million. Yan ang ating operating assets. Tingnan natin. Yan. So, 19 million yung ating operating assets. So, ano natin? Kukunin natin ang ating minimum return. Ang minimum return natin ay 19 million multiplied by 12%. So, that is 2,280,000. Ayan yun, minimum return. Alam natin, ang residual income given, 2 million. Squeeze out natin ang operating income na 4,280,000. Pataas. Work back natin. Tapos, squeeze out natin ngayon yung cost. Di ba ang sales natin given, 30,000. Sabi niya dito, what is the required cost? Ano ba yung cost? That is the variable cost and the fixed cost. Lahat ng cost natin. So, makuha natin dito ay 25,720,000. So, letter B. Okay. Number 23. A ceramics manufacturer sold cups last year for 7 pesos and 50 cents each. So, yan yung selling price niya last year. Meron din siyang variable cost na 2.25 per unit. Tapos, nag-break even siya na 20,000 cups. Okay, net income was 5,040. This year, the company expects the price per cup to be 9 pesos. The variable manufacturing cost would increase by 33.33%. And the fixed cost would increase by 10%. So, how many cups would the company need to sell this year to break even? So, gagawin natin, kunin natin yung last year. Ano ba yung data natin last year? 7.5 na selling price. Meron tayong variable cost na 2.25. Ito. Tapos, makuha natin ang contribution margin na 5.25 pesos per unit. Multiply natin yan sa break-even points. Break-even point na unit na 20,000 cups. Makuha natin ang contribution margin at break-even point na 105,000. So, tandaan nyo, at break-even point, ang ating contribution margin ay equal sa fixed cost dahil ang ating operating income ay equal to 0. Okay? So, ayan. Ibig sabihin, ang ating fixed cost last year ay 105,000. Tama ba? So, tingnan na natin. Meron tayong bagong selling price na 9. Ito, 9 pesos. Meron tayong increase in variable cost by 33.33%. So, multiply natin. 2.25 times 1.3333%. That is equal to 3 pesos. Diba? So, 9 minus 3, that is 6 na contribution margin per unit na bago. Diba? So, ang fixed cost natin mag-increase daw by 10%. So, multiply natin ito ng 1.1. So, that is equal to ito, 115,500 divided by 6 na contribution margin per unit natin na bago. Makuha natin na 19,250 na bagong break-even point. Okay, next. The cost drivers are, ano ba ang cost drivers? Sila ang, ito na yun, activities that cause cost to increase as the activity increases. Tama ba? Yan yun. Yan yun. Siya yung nagko-cause ng increase sa cost. Okay? Number 25. Clint Eastwood Company estimated the following data for the coming year. So, meron tayo ditong fixed manufacturing cost, 750,000. Meron tayong variable cost per peso of sale. So, ibig sabihin ito, kada piso nating sale, meron tayong may incur na variable cost na material, direct labor, variable overhead, and variable selling cost. Pero ang tinatanong sa atin dito ay cost of goods sold. Sinong pasok sa cost of goods sold natin? Materials, tama ba? Materials, direct labor, and variable overhead. Hindi kasama ito, itong variable selling natin. Okay ba? Nagets nyo yan? So, kukunin daw natin ating cost of goods sold assuming na meron tayong sales na 2 million at there is no beginning or ending inventory. So, lahat ng pumasok sa ating fixed manufacturing cost ay mabebenta. So, ibig sabihin niya, totally, lahat yan mabebenta. So, kunin natin. Saan yan? Ayan. Sales. Meron tayong sales sa 2 million. Itong variable cost, manufacturing per peso. Saan galing yan? Ito yan, 1.5 ay 0.15 plus 0.125 plus 0.075. That is equal to 0.35. Multiply natin is sa 2 million. Nakuha natin 700,000. Plus fixed manufacturing cost, 750,000. Makuha natin ang cost of goods sold na, letter A, 1,450,000. Number 26. The standard usage for raw materials is 5 pounds at 40 pesos per pound. So, ang hinahanap sa atin dito ay material quantity variance. Ano ba ang material quantity variance natin? 'Di ba? Ang solution diyan, material quantity variance. So, quantity. Naka-base dapat tayo dito sa units used. 'Di ba? Kapag price, material price variance, MPV, ang basis dapat natin ay purchased. Purchased. Since pwede magkaroon ng difference yan, ito mo, ang use natin 3,150, pero ang purchase natin ay 3,200. Ang basis dapat natin ay used. So, ang actual units used natin ay 3,150. Tapos, meron tayong na-produce sa 600 units times 5 para makuha natin ang standard units natin. Standard units used, which is 3,000. Standard cost sa kanya, standard cost, na 40 pesos. So, 40 times 3,150, that is equal to 126. Tapos, 3,000 times 40, that is 120,000. So, sino mas mataas? Ang ating actual. So, kung mas mataas ang actual kaysa sa ating standard, tayo ay merong unfavorable variance na 6,000. So, that is letter A. 6,000 unfavorable variance. Okay. Number 27. The responsibility for safeguarding financial assets and arranging financing is given to safeguarding financial assets. Sino bang may safeguard at sino bang may custody sa financial assets? Ano ba yan? That is cash in bank. Cash. Ayan yung mga stocks. Tama ba? Investments. Nandiyan yan. So that is the treasurer. Tama ba? Tandaan nyo, ang controller, tandaan nyo, ang controller, ito ay chief accountant. Ang accountant ba may custody dyan? Wala, di ba? Wala tayo dyan. So, this is treasurer. Okay. Number 28. On a balanced scorecard, which is more of an internal process measure than external measure, this is letter A. Cycle time. Kasi di ba ito internal, kung paano or kung gaano katagal tayo nagpro-produce or nade-deliver ang ating mga goods sa customers. So, internal yan. Internal process natin yan. Itong profitability, financial yan. Customer satisfaction, this is customer. This is customers too. Yung market share. So, fixed manufacturing overhead was budgeted at 500,000 and 20,000 direct labor hours were budgeted. If the fixed overhead volume variance was 10,000 favorable, and fixed overhead spending was 16,000 unfavorable, fixed manufacturing overhead applied must be, paano natin solve? Alam natin yung budgeted natin na fixed manufacturing overhead ay 500,000. Ito yun. Sa taas. Tapos meron tayong standard fixed manufacturing overhead na hindi natin alam actually. Ito hindi natin alam. Yan yung hinahanap natin. Standard fixed manufacturing overhead. 'Di ba? Yun yung applied. Yun yung in-apply natin. Pero alam natin meron tayong volume variance na 10,000 na favorable. Pag favorable, ibig sabihin mas mataas ang standard, 'di ba? Kaysa dito sa ating budgeted. Mas mataas siya ng 10,000. Tama ba? So, para makuha ang standard fixed manufacturing overhead, i-add natin ang budgeted fixed manufacturing overhead na 500 plus 10,000, which is equal to 510,000. So, letter C ang sagot natin. Tandaan nyo lang kung mas mataas itong nasa itaas, ito, we have unfavorable. Pag mas mataas itong nasa gitna, we have favorable. Gets? Yan. Number 30. Marceline Company reported its contribution margin ratio at 40% and its return on sales of 10%. If its fixed cost per year were 60,000, how much is the margin of safety? Ayan. So, alam natin, meron tayong sales na 200. Actually, hindi pala natin alam itong 200,000. Alam natin yung fixed cost na 60,000. Pero alam natin na meron tayong contribution margin na 40%, di ba? Tapos meron tayong return on sales na 10%. So ibig sabihin niyan, meron tayong fixed cost na 30% of sales, di ba? Ang tawag dito ay vertical analysis. Yung ginagawa natin ito, vertical analysis. Actually, ito ay concept pa sa financial statement analysis, pero pwede niyo siyang gamitin sa contribution margin approach dahil, di ba, yung sales natin palagi at contribution margin approach is always 100. Tama ba? 100, tapos dideduct natin yung variable cost, tapos makukuha natin ito yung CMR, CMR. Ito yung ROS, di ba? So, pag in-squeeze out natin, ibig sabihin na to, yung difference nilang ng CM, pati ng operating income, is equal to 30% of the total sales. So, pag dinivide ko to, 60,000 divided by 30%, makukuha ko itong 200,000. Tama ba? Tapos alam natin, yung break-even point, this is 150,000. Para nakuha yan, we have 60,000 divided by, ilan? 40%. Diba? 60,000 divided by 40% is equal to 150,000. So, ang margin of safety natin, kasi alam natin, ang current sales natin ay 200,000 minus 150, we have a margin of safety of 50,000. Tama ba? Okay, number 31. Del Toro Company currently produces envelopes in an automated process. Expected production per month is 50,000. Direct material costs are 0.5 pesos per unit, And manufacturing overhead costs are 20,000 per month. Manufacturing overhead is all fixed cost. So, ibig sabihin daw niya, itong 20,000 per unit, ay 20,000 per month, ay lahat ay fixed cost. Ang tinatanong sa atin dito, flexible budget at 20,000 units. So, ibig sabihin lang yan, multiply natin ang ating variable cost by 0.5 times ilang units? 20,000. Ating fixed cost, ilan? 20,000. So, makuha natin variable cost na 10,000 plus 20,000 ang ating flexible budget ay 30,000. Ayun siya. Letter B. Okay, at its present level of operation, the firm has a variable cost ratio of 80%, total fixed cost equal to 15% of sales based on variable costing. If sales, variable costing if sales increase by 1 peso, income will change by, paano ba to? Diba alam natin ang sales ay equal to 100%. Ang variable cost daw niya ay 80%. So, meron tayong contribution margin na 20%. Tama ba? So, ibig sabihin, pag tayo ay nagkaroon ng 1 peso na sale, ang ating variable cost, assuming na 80% yan, di ba? So, this is 0.80. Mag-i-increase ang ating contribution margin by 0.20. Tandaan nyo, ang sabi ko sa inyo kanina, assuming na wala magbabago sa ating fixed cost, ang ating change in operating income is also equal to the change in contribution margin. Diba? So, ito, ang ating change in contribution margin. Ito rin ang ating change in operating income. So, ibig sabihin, nag-increase tayo ng 0.2. Tama ba? Burahin natin kasi may solution pala akong nilagay dito. Ayan. Kita nyo? Ayan. So, 100 minus 80 is equal to 20% na contribution margin ratio. Ito yung CMR. Multiply by 1 peso sale, makuha natin ang increasing income na 20%. Which of the following statements about step cost is false? Ano ba yung step cost? Yan yung mga cost natin na along the relevant range. Assuming itong ating table. Yan, table natin. Assume nyo na lang straight din yan. Ayan. Table natin yan. So, ganito yung itsura niyan pag ginraph natin. Pag ganyan siya. Ganyan, step cost. So, ayan. Ito yung peso. Ito yung units. Ganyan siya. Ganyan yung itsura ng step cost pag ginraph. So, basahin muna natin lahat ng choices. If the individual chunks of cost are relatively large and apply to specific and broad range of activity, the step cost is considered to be a fixed cost over the range of activity. That is true. If the individual chunks of cost are relatively large and apply for a specific and broad range of activity, the step cost is considered to be fixed cost over that relevant range of activity. So, along this line, ito, for example, itong part na to, along that range of activity, ito, fixed siya. Assume na lang na straight yung nagawa ko. Medyo, kasi, hirap eh. Ayan, fixed yan. Fixed siya habang nandyan sa activity na yan. Pero nagbabago siya pag magpas na tayo dito. For example, isip tayo ng isang step cost. Ito, naisip ko na. Meron tayong factory. May factory tayo. Ganyan. Pero kapag normal capacity tayo, nagagamit natin itong buong factory nito. Ito yung factory 1 natin. Pero, pwede tayong magkaroon ng order menta ng isa pang factory kapag kailangan natin. 'Di ba? So, ang rent nito ay fixed cost. Fixed yan. Fixed. Ang rent din nito ay fixed. Pero mag-i-incur lang natin to pag dumami yung units na i-produce natin. So, magkakaroon lang tayo ng increase in fixed cost if i-incur natin tong factory 2. 'Di ba? So, kung ito lang yung pinagbabasehan natin, relevant range natin dito, within the factory 1 lang, ito. So, that is considered fixed. Pero, pag nagkaroon ng increase pa tayo ng in units, so kailangan natin mag-rent pa ng additional factory, magiging step cost na siya. 'Di ba? So, within the relevant range or specific range, fixed siya. Pero kapag tiningnan nyo yung malaking image, so that is magiging step cost. Okay? Nagets nyo ba yun? Sana nagets nyo yun. Letter B. Step costs are same as mixed cost. Not necessarily. Nakita nyo nga dito, fixed cost siya. Nagba-vary lang. Pwedeng ganon. Diba? So, this is false. When individual chunks of costs are relatively small and applied to narrow range of activity, step costs are considered to be variable costs. Actually, that is also true. Kasi, what if ganito? Yung step cost natin is sobrang liliit ng steps. Ay, ganyan siya. Liliit ng steps. Kinakalaban ako ng pen ko. Ganyan. Sobrang liit ng steps na hindi nyo na siya makita actually. Pag nag-zoom out kayo sa graph, mukha siyang straight line. Pero pag zoom in nyo, step cost pala siya. Kapag nag-zoom out kayo sa graph, ganyan itsura niya. Pero pag zoom in nyo, ganito itsura niya. Ganyan. So, pwede nyo siyang i-treat as variable cost. So, true yan. Letter D. Some step costs can be assumed to be variable cost for planning purposes with little loss of accuracy. True din yun. Assuming na same scenario siya sa letter C. Ayan. So, letter B, ang sure na mali is the same as mixed cost. Hindi. Kasi ang mixed cost, di ba, may portion, ganito yung sure ng mixed cost eh. May portion na fixed, may portion na variable. Ito, variable cost yan. Yan ang mixed cost. Ang step cost, ganito. Ito yung sure ng step cost. Ayan. Number 34. Kent Company had a standard fixed cost of 6 pesos per unit at an actual production of 8,000 units, a favorable volume balance of 12,000 resulted. What is the total budgeted fixed cost? So, ganito lang siya. Diba? Naalala nyo, diba? Ang budgeted fixed cost minus standard fixed cost, makukuha natin ang volume variance. Tama? Nasa dulo yan eh. Naalala nyo yun? Basta yan. Kung naalala nyo, diba? Ang standard fixed cost natin or yung 4-way, ganito siya, diba? Actual fixed rate times actual hours. Tapos makukuha natin dito yung budgeted fixed cost. Ito yung spending. The spending variance. Tapos, variable fixed cost minus variable fixed cost. Budgeted fixed cost minus budgeted fixed cost is efficiency. Diba? Ang efficiency, wala yan. Walang ganyan. Walang efficiency, fixed variance. Walang ganyan. Pero meron tayong standard fixed rate times standard hours. This is, ang difference sila, yan yung volume, di ba? That is the volume variance. Yan. So, given na may volume variance sign na favorable, so alam natin, sabi ko sa inyo kanina, pag favorable, mas mataas yung standard yung nasa baba. So, kung mas mataas to by 12,000, tapos alam natin na meron tayong actual production of 8,000 units, tapos meron tayong standard fixed cost na 6 pesos per unit. So, multiply natin yan, 8,000 times 6 is equal to 48,000. So, squeeze out natin to. Alam natin na mas mataas ang 48,000 by 12,000. Deduct natin 48 minus 12, that is equal to 36,000. Yan ang ating budgeted fixed cost. Actually, hindi natin kailangan malaman kung ilan yung ating normal capacity. Ang tinatanong naman sa atin ay budgeted fixed cost. Squeeze out lang. Okay, number 35. Which of the following is not a major assumption underlying a CVP analysis? Ito yung mga assumptions natin. Tingnan natin isa-isa. All costs incurred by a firm can be separated into fixed and variable components. That is true. The product selling price per unit is constant at all volume levels. That is true. Operating efficiency and employee productivity are constant at all volume levels. That is also true. For multi-product situations, the sales mix can vary ba at all volume levels? That is false. Dapat yan ay fixed ang ating sales mix. Ang sales mix natin ay fixed. So that is letter D. Yan ang not a major assumption. So that is false. Okay. Number 36. A limitation of transfer prices based on actual cost. Is that, ang sagot natin dito? Based on actual cost can lead to suboptimal decisions as a company as a whole. Yan ang sagot natin. Dahil kung based ang transfer price natin at actual cost, si selling division ay walang incentive para pababain ang kanyang cost. Dahil alam niya kahit anong cost ang incur niya ay bibilhin ni buying division. Yan ang rason. Alam niya na kahit hindi siya maging efficient sa cost niya. So, madami siyang labor, marami siyang losses, alam niya, bibilhin pa rin ni buying division yon kahit anong mangyari. Diba? So, it can lead to suboptimal decision for the company as a whole. Ayun siya. Number 37. In which of the four perspectives of a balanced scorecard is the objective reduce staff turnover most likely be? So ano ba? Customer ba? No. Financial ba? No. Internal process? Pwede, pero pinakatama dyan ay learning and growth. Diba? Learning and growth kasi related siya sa staff. So that is letter D. Oh, parang naka-smiley face, oh. Okay. Number 38, I mean. Bubble Company planned and actually produced 100,000 units of its product in 2025. Its first year of operation, variable production cost was 60 pesos per unit of product. Planned and actual fixed production cost totaled 800,000. The marketing and advertising cost totaled 500,000 in 2025. Bubble Company sold 80,000 units for the product in 2025 at a selling price of 80 pesos per unit. What is the ending inventory assuming variable costing is used? Ano ba? 'Di ba alam natin na ano to? Meron ba siyang fixed cost? Pag variable cost yung ginagamit natin. 'Di ba hindi naman papasok 'yun sa ating inventory. So, etong variable production cost lang ang relevant sa atin. Alam natin, meron tayong production ng 100,000. So, kung meron tayong production ng 100,000, ito 100,000, ito yung inventory natin in units, inventory. Kung meron tayong pumasok na 100,000 na pinroduce, tapos meron tayong ilan ba nabenta natin? 80,000. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong ending units na 20,000. Tapos, itong 20,000 na in units na yan, multiply natin siya sa variable cost per unit, which is 60. So, 20,000 times 60 is equal to the ending inventory of 1,200,000. Nakuha niyo ba yan? So, that is letter D. Yay! Number 39. Which of the following statements is true for a company that uses variable costing? Variable costing. Okay. So, tandaan nyo, sagot natin dito, letter B. Net operating income moves in the same direction as sales. Bakit mali yung A? Income is greatest in periods when production is the highest, di ba? Kapag production is greater than sales, this is absorption. Ang net income nila, absorption is greater than variable. So, that is false. Pag mataas ang production, mataas ang income in absorption, not variable. Both variable selling cost and variable production cost are included in unit product cost. That is false. Tandaan nyo, actually dito, sige, kasi hindi alam to ng, hindi na-discuss to sa online. Diba? Madaming nalilito dito. Yung variable selling cost, sinasama nila sa product cost. Pero, never. Tandaan nyo, hindi yan papasok sa ating product cost. Ipapakita ko sa inyo ang tinuro ko to sa face-to-face. So, para malaman nyo din, sa mga online natin, makinig kayo, ang ating variable, di ba, ang variable costing natin, ang ginagamit natin ay contribution margin approach. Paano yon? Sales minus variable cost is equal to the contribution margin minus fixed cost. Tama ba? So, makuha natin dito operating income. Tama? Ang variable cost natin dyan, kasama dyan yung selling and administrative and manufacturing. Tama? Ang ating fixed cost, anong naman nito? Selling and admin and manufacturing. Tama ba? Yan ang ating contribution margin approach. Pero papakita ko sa inyo ang ating contribution margin approach na modified. Bakit modified? Same pa rin to dyan. Pero minodify ko lang para mas makita nyo na hindi parehas ang ating cost of goods sold sa contribution margin. So, sales, yan, sales, minus variable cost. Ano bang variable cost natin dito? Ay, burahin ko. That's not variable cost. Para mas maano nyo. It should be. Okay. Ito. This should be cost of goods sold. Ano bang cost of goods sold pag variable costing? Di ba, variable manuf lang. Variable manufacturing lang. So, deduct natin yan. Makuha natin dito. Ano? This is gross profit. Tama ba? This is gross profit. Pag dineduct ko pa dito, ang variable selling and administrative, selling and admin, Pag dineduct ko siya dyan, makukuha ko dito ay contribution margin. Tapos deduct ko pa yung fixed cost, makukuha ko dito ay operating income. Tama ba? So, gusto ko lang mapakita sa inyo dito na ang gross profit, gross profit, ay hindi parehas sa contribution margin. Kasi ang ina-assume ng students, kapag variable costing, etong contribution margin is the same as gross profit. Pero hindi, magkaiba sila. Dahil ang papasok lang sa ating cost of goods sold ay ang variable manufacturing cost. Dahil yun lang ang inventoriable cost under variable costing. Okay? Gusto ko lang makita sa inyo, ulitin ko, ang gross profit ay hindi similar. Ito, gross profit is not equal to the contribution margin. Iibang concept yan. Ibang concept sila. Kasi ang gross profit ay sales minus cost of goods sold. Ang contribution margin, i-deduct mo pa yung variable selling and administrative para makuha siya. Okay ba? Sana malinaw yun. Okay. Letter D. The unit product cost changes as a result of changes in the number of units manufactured. The unit product cost changes as a result of... No, di ba? Kasi naka-base tayo sa sold. Kasi kung anong papasok sa inventory natin, yun lang ilalabas dito sa ating cost of goods sold din. Which is yung variable lang. Di ba? So, no. No, hindi yan ang tamang sagot. So, letter B ang sagot natin. Sana, naintindihan nyo to. Kasi ito, dito maraming nalilitong students. Iniisip nila na yung contribution margin, dahil nga variable costing, pati yung selling and administrative, ay product cost. No, hindi siya product cost. Hindi siya papasok sa inventory nyo. Diba? Hindi yan papasok sa inventory nyo at variable costing. Tandaan nyo rin, ang variable costing ay hindi ginagamit for financial accounting. Hindi siya gagamitin. Hindi siya pwedeng gamitin for external reports. This is for internal reports only. Para mas makatulong sa decision making ng management. 'Di ba? Yun lang 'yun. Okay. Machine A has a fixed cost of 250,000 and variable cost of 20 pesos per unit. Machine B has a fixed cost of 310,000 and a variable cost of 14 pesos per unit. What is the indifference point? So ang indifference point is the change in fixed cost divided by the change in variable cost. Yeah, variable cost. Ayan. Diba? So, another way para ma-solve natin yung indifference point, tandaan nyo lang, itong concept talaga niya. Ang indifference point is the point where the alternatives, alternative A and alternative B, kahit ano doon yung maging choice natin, okay lang. Hindi tayo magkakaroon ng revenue or magkakaroon ng benefit from either choices. Break even lang, parehas lang sila. So, ibig sabihin nun, the cost of A is equal to the cost of B. Yan ang ating indifference point. So, ano ba ang cost of A? That is the fixed cost, 250,000 plus the variable cost. Ano ba variable cost natin? 20 pesos per unit. Yung X, yung units natin, is equal to, ano pa? Meron tayong fixed cost na 310,000. Tapos meron tayong variable cost na 14 plus 14 variable cost per unit times X, which is the units. Ayan. Di ba? Na ginawa natin siya algebra. Actually, pag indifference point, mas magandang ganito yung gawin nyo para sa akin. Kasi ito nakakalito to. Kailangan nyo pang kabisaduhin. Pero ito, kapag alam nyo yung concept ng indifference point, ito yung point kung saan yung cost ni A, na alternative A, ay equal sa cost ni alternative B. Napakadali, di ba? So ito, makikita nyo na agad, this is equal to 60. Lipat natin yung 250 sa kabila, 60,000. Ay, ayan, 60,000. Lipat natin yung 14 sa kabila, so this is 6x divided by 6. Makuha natin ang ating units equal to ilan? That is equal to 10,000 units. Parehas lang, makuha natin. So that is letter D. Okay. 41. For reports to follow the principle of responsibility accounting. Responsibility accounting daw, which must be true. Ang responsibility accounting, tanda natin, ang gusto natin makuha dito at gusto nating malaman ay kung sino ang may responsibility or accountability sa ating outcomes. Kung sino ang rason, ano ba ang rason ng ating outcomes. 'Di ba? Kung nagkaroon tayo ng profit, kung nagkaroon tayo ng loss, ano ang rason At sino ang may responsibility doon sa ating outcomes. Diba? Yun ang gusto natin malaman dito. Sino ang may accountability or responsibility. Yan. So, tingnan natin dito. Each segment of an entity is an artificial profit center. That is not necessarily true. Not true. The company is decentralized. Hindi naman required yan. The company uses transfer price. Hindi rin required yan. Ito ang record sa atin dyan. The report shows controllable cost separately from non-controllable cost. Kasi nga gusto natin malaman kung sino yung may responsibility. Kung isasama natin sa report, halo-halo yung cost nila, hindi natin alam sino yung may control dun sa mga cost natin. Kasi di ba yung ginagawa natin? Di ba? Meron tayong sales minus, anong next natin? Variable cost. Makuha natin dito, CM, di ba? Minus, anong next natin? Controllable, fixed cost, di ba? Controllable fixed cost. Tapos makukuha natin dito, segment, controllable margin. Di ba? Margin. Tapos, pag dineduct pa natin dito yung uncontrollable, makukuha natin yung, next? Segment margin, di ba? Segment margin. Ganyan siya. Tapos, segment margin, minus natin. Ano yung minus natin segment margin? That is, the allocated common fixed cost. Ayan siya. So, segment margin minus allocated common fixed cost makukuha natin ay operating income. Tandaan nyo, isa-isahin nga natin. Sino may control sa variable cost? That is the manager. Based on sales. Yan, di ba? Controllable fixed cost. Sino may control? The manager. Di ba? Ang manager may control yan. So, etong segment controllable margin, this is to check the performance of the manager. Ito, i-deduct natin ang uncontrollable fixed cost para makuha itong segment margin. Ang segment margin, this is the performance of the segment, di ba? Segment to. Sorry na, pangit na sulat ko. Segment. Ang sikip kasi. Ayan, segment margin. Ayan. Tapos, pag dineduct pa natin itong allocated common fixed cost, makukuha natin operating income. Actually, wala tayong responsibility dito sa allocated common fixed cost dahil ito ay sineset by the top management. Top management nagsiset niyan. May decision ba tayo dyan? Controllable ba sa atin yan? No, di ba? Hindi natin controllable yan. Hindi nga rin natin responsibility yan. Kasi ang allocated common fixed cost, ang laman yan, HR, accounting, finance, those are staff function na binibigay sa atin, di ba? Payroll, HR, nandiyan yun. Bali, ina-allocate lang ng top management yan to different divisions based on their, actually arbitrary yan. Walang rule kung paano nila i-allocate yan. Depende sa kanila yan. So, pwedeng ma-skew itong ating operating income dahil malaki yung ating allocated common fixed cost. Kaya ang ating paghusgahan natin ang performance ng ating segment, hanggang dito lang. Kasi etong allocated common fixed cost nga ay depende sa desisyon ng top management. Malinaw? Okay. Malinaw. Good. Number 42. Nerdy Technology manufactures a particular computer component. Currently, the cost per unit are as follows. So, ito ang cost per unit niya. Meron tayong direct material, direct labor, may variable overhead, may fixed overhead. Sun Company approached Nerdy Technology with an offer to sell 10,000 units of the component for 1,100 per unit. If Nerdy accepts, 2,500 of fixed overhead will be avoided. Should Nerdy make or buy the component? So, ang sagot natin dito ay make. Dahil meron tayong benefit by 500,000. So, paano natin nakukuha yung benefit na 500,000 na yan? Actually, yung ginawa ko dito ay naka per unit. Mas sanay kasi ako sa per unit. Pero, pakita ko sa inyo, paano rin siya in total. In total. Pero per unit muna tayo. Per unit, gusto kong makuha dito ang ating mga relevant cost per unit. So, ano ba relevant cost per unit natin? Ito, direct material, direct labor, may variable overhead. Ayan. Magkano yung selling price natin? 1,100 per unit. Yan ang selling price. Tapos, meron tayong avoidable fixed cost na 2,500,000. So, paano natin kukunin per unit yan? We divide that by 10,000 units. Ito, 10,000 units. So, makukuha natin ang 250 na avoidable fixed cost per unit. Pag dineduct natin yan sa ating selling price, makukuha natin ang cost to buy na 850. So, pag tayo ay makakatipid tayo ng 50 pesos per unit, tapos multiply natin yan sa units natin na 10,000. So, ang benefit natin in total, if make, is 500,000. Yan ang ating savings. Letter B. Tingnan pa natin. Ulit, make or buy. So, make. Buy. In total naman in total. So, meron tayong cost to make. Ilan ang cost to make natin? So, 150 plus 350 plus 300, that is equal to 800 multiplied by 10,000. Ilan? That is 8 million. Tama ba? Nakuha nyo ba yung 8 million? Sabayan nyo ako 8 million. So, buy. Ilan ang cost to buy natin? 1,100 times 10,000. That is equal to 11 million. Sabi niya, makakatipid daw tayo ng 2,500,000. So, pag bumili tayo sa iba, itong 2,500,000 na to, hindi na natin may incur yan. So, deduct natin 2.5 M. Makukuha natin 11 minus 2,500,000 tama, 2,500,000. That is equal to 8 million. 8.5 M. Dito, meron tayong 8 M lang. Sino ang mas mababa ang cost? Eh di yung make by 500,000. Kita nyo? Same lang yan. Same lang siya. Okay. Number 43. A firm earning a profit can increase its return on investment by. So, ang gagawin natin dito, scenario by scenario kasi ito. So, I suggest, pag ganito na-encounter kayo ng ganitong problem, magbigay kayo ng value. How? Paano magbibigay ng value? For example, ganito. Maglagay kayo ng example. So, alam natin, ang selling price minus operating expenses is equal to the operating income. Alam natin na ang ating ROI is equal to the operating income divided by the investment. Diba? So, magbigay tayo ng value. Ito yung constant natin. Ito yung control. Yan ang ating control. Sa ating control, meron tayong selling price na 100, meron tayong operating expense na 50, meron tayong operating income na 50. Diba? Ang ating investment, 1,000, ang ating ROI ay 5%. Diba? Kasi 50 divided by 1,000. So, ang gagawin natin, based dito sa ating different choices, itong A, B, C, and D, ilalagay natin yung scenario niya. So, increasing sales revenue and operating expense by the same peso amount. So, mag-increase tayo ng 20 pesos. Yan yung aking scenario yung ginawa. 20 pesos for revenue and operating expense. So, 120 tapos 70. Actually, walang magbabago sa ating ROI dyan. Kasi 50 pa rin ating operating income and ating investment ay 1,000 pa rin. Ito naman, letter B. Decreasing sales revenue and operating expenses by the same percentage. So, pag binawasan natin ng 50% itong ating sales, ang ating OPEX, makuha natin ay operating income na 25. Divided by natin yan ng 1,000, makuha natin 2.5. Tumaas ba? Ang gusto natin dito, tumaas ang ROI. Increase its ROI. Tumaas ba? Hindi. So, hindi rin to ang sagot. Okay. Sa letter C, increasing sales revenue and operating expenses by the same percentage. So, ang ating operating income ay tumaas by 50%. Tama ba? Is 50 times 1.5 is equal to 75. 75 divided by 1,000 is equal to 7.5. Ito naman, increasing investment and operating expenses by the same amount. Gagawin ko na to. Tumaas daw ang investment ko and operating expenses by the same amount. So, sabihin ko, nag-increase ang aking investment by 20 and operating expense by 20. So, ang lalabas niyan, ganyan. Decrease pa rin siya. So, hindi yan ang sagot natin. Actually, kahit anong value ang ilagay nyo dyan, same pa rin ang lalabas na sagot. Gusto lang natin makita dito para lang ma-visualize nyo ang sagot. Letter C. Diba? Tumaas siya. From 5, naging 7.5. Kahit anong value ilagay nyo dyan, walang magbabago. Same pa rin ang answer natin. Letter C. Okay, number 44. Which of the following activities is not usually performed by a management accountant? Ano bang hindi niya ginagawa niya? So, isa-isayin natin ulit. Simula tayo sa baba. Gathering data from sources other than accounting system. Hindi ba ginagawa nun? Hinahanap natin na not usually performed ba? Ginagawa ba niya yan? Ginagawa niya yan. Kasi qualitative. Pati qualitative information ginagather natin. Designing system to provide information for internal and external reports. That is true. Pwedeng gamitin yan for internal and external reports. Pwede. Provide information provide information, pero hindi tayo yung gagawa ng external reports. Pero pwede tayong makapag-provide ng information for internal and external. How? Sa external. Paano sa external? For example, costing. Diba? Costing. Yung reports na management accountant related to costs, diba? Standard costs, mga ganon. Pwedeng gamitin yan sa inventories. Pwedeng gamitin yun. So, hindi necessary. Hindi tayo gumagawa ng reports for external users, pero yung information na pinaprovide natin ay pwedeng gamitin for external reports. Okay? Malinaw? Good. Letter B, assisting managers to interpret data in managerial accounting reports. That is true. Yan talagang ginagawa natin. Letter A, deciding the best level of inventory to be maintained. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, sa umpisa natin, ang management accountant ay hindi nagde-decide. We only help the managers decide. Wala tayong desisyon na gagawin. We will not be part of the management. Diba? Tayo ay management accountant. We provide information to help them decide on the best courses of action. So, ang letter A ay hindi natin ginagawa yan. Hindi natin ginagawa yan. Okay? Hindi natin ginagawa yan. Kasi yan ay ginagawa ng management. Okay, ito. Similar dun sa sinagot natin kanina. Solve natin Meron tayong sells its product for 5 pesos per unit. Its fixed cost is 240,000 and variable cost is 60%. So, ibig sabihin yan, meron tayong selling price na 5. Meron tayong variable cost na 60%. Diba? Palaging ang 100% itong sales natin. Diba? So, ibig sabihin niya na CMR natin ay ilan? This is 40% kasi 100 minus 60%. Tama ba? So, kung 60% yan, this is 3. Tama ba? And ang ating contribution margin ay 2. Tama ba? Nakuha nyo yan. So, kung 2 ang ating contribution margin per unit, gusto natin malaman ilan ang ating what amount of sales would be needed to realize a 10% return on sales. So, ang gusto natin malaman, ilan daw, yun nandito. Di ba? In total. Alam natin, ang fixed cost natin ay 240,000. Ito yung fixed cost natin. Alam natin, ang operating income natin ay 10%. So, ibig sabihin yan, may 30% tayong dineduct dito. So, ang 240,000 na to ay 30% of 100%. So, this is equal to X or sales is equal to 240,000 divided by 30%, which is equal to ilan? 240 divided by 0.3, that is equal to ano sagot? That is equal to 800,000. Tama ba? Letter A. Yan yung solution natin. Ayan o. Similar lang din. Is letter A. In-squeeze out lang natin siya. Pero tandaan nyo, vertical analysis yung ginawa natin dito. Technically, vertical analysis. Tandaan nyo, pwede natin gamitin yun. Hindi ibig sabihin na nasa future topic pa siya, hindi natin pwede gamitin. Pwede natin gamitin yun dito. Yung concepts naman similar lang dito. Okay ba? Nagets nyo yan? Sana nagets nyo yan. Okay. An appropriate transfer price between two divisions of Doom Company can be determined from the following data. So, what is the natural bargaining range from the two divisions? So, alam natin dito, mayroon ba siyang excess capacity? Yes, meron, 1,000. Ilan na kailangan natin? 900. Pag kinuha natin to may matitira pang 100. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong idle capacity. Diba? Sobra-sobra lahat. Ibig sabihin yan, pwede natin siyang mabenta, pwedeng ibenta ng selling division at variable cost. So, ang ating maximum, ang maximum ay yung market price. Ang ating minimum, 20. Ito, yung variable. Ayan siya. So, between 20 and 50. Yan ang nating negotiating price. Yan lang siya. Ito, bonus na question to eh. Hindi nyo na kailangan mag-isip. Diba? The following information is considered typical time. So, ang hinahanap natin dito ay value-adding activity. Ano ba ang value-adding activity? This is only the processing time. Yan lang. Bakit nga ba yan lang ang value-adding activity? Diba? I-drawing natin. Para makita nyo din. Diba? Meron tayong production. Sabihin natin production ng cellphone. Kunyari mo ang cellphone yan. Flip phone na lang siya kunyari. Flip phone. Ganyan. Flip phone. So, meron tayo ditong waiting time. Kasi umorder yung, ano natin eh. Umorder yung customer natin. So, dito, order placed. Order. Dito, yung start na production natin. Production. Ito yung delivery. Na-deliver na sa customer. Delivery. Yan. So, waiting time from order to production, wala tayong gagawin dyan. Parang hinihintay lang natin bago pa mag-start yung production. Kasi hindi naman pagka-start ng order ng customer, ipoproduce ka agad. Hindi naman ganun. Diba? So, ang production, may mga parts yan. It can be, pwedeng magkaroon uli ng waiting time, pwede uli magkaroon ng inspection muna, inspect muna yung mga raw materials, pero, ang nag-iisa lang na value-adding activity natin dito ay yung processing time. Bakit? Ano ba yung processing time? Dahil dito sa processing, ang ating raw materials, ano bang raw materials ng cellphone? This is metals, chips, di ba? Ginagamit natin yan para maging finished goods. So, ang process, sa process, kino-convert natin ang ating raw materials to finished goods. Naniniwala ba kayo na ang Apple product na finished goods sa iPhone ay mas mahal kaysa sa materials na ginamit para sa kanya? 'Di ba? Mas mahal yung finished good na kaysa dun sa raw material niya. So nagkakaroon ng added value, 'di ba? Yung raw materials magkano lang yun eh. Magkano lang yung mga chips niyan, magkano lang yung metal na ginamit diyan. Yung process from raw materials to finished goods, nagkakaroon ng value creation. Tama ba? Nag-gets yun? So ito lang. Yun yung rason kung bakit yun lang ang value-adding activity. Ano bang sunod? Pwedeng gawin natin. Meron tayong inspection. Inspection. So, sabihin natin na nagawa na yung raw materials to finished goods. Naging finished goods na siya. Meron na tayong Apple na flip phone kung may ganun man sila. Di ba? Wala naman. Pero isipin nyo na lang, may flip phone ang Apple. Apple 18. Ganun. Flip phone. Apple 18. Isipin nyo, kapag ba in-inspect ang device, yung product na yun, yung cellphone na yun, pag in-inspect ba natin yun, tataas ba yung value niya? Hindi naman, di ba? Wala naman tayong dinadagdag sa kanya. Ini-inspect lang natin yung quality niya, pero wala na siyang nadadagdag na value. Tama? Okay. Na-inspect natin. Maganda yung inspection. Magkakaroon tayo ng move. I-move natin. Kasi i-deliver na eh. I-deliver na from manufacturing, dinala natin sa shipping department. So, nagka-move. Yung process ba ng moving from manufacturing to shipping, tumaas ba yung value niya? Hindi naman, di ba? Hindi naman tumaas ang value ng Apple product natin. Di ba? Nilipat lang natin siya eh. So, wala tayong value creation na nangyari. Wait. Pag nagkaroon ng waiting time, nasa shipping department na siya, hinihintay na natin yung magpipick up, yung Shopee kunyari, hinihintay natin siya. May nakikreate bang value? May nakikreate bang value? Wala. Walang nakikreate na value. So, ibig sabihin talaga, ang processing time lang ang nag-iisang value-adding activities. Anong tawag natin dito from the point of production to delivery? Ito ang ating manufacturing cycle time. Anong tawag natin from the point of order to delivery? That is, anong tawag natin dito? This is delivery cycle time. Tama? Alala niyo pa yan? Ganyan siya. Okay, next. Number 48. Fin companies' variable expenses are 75% of sales. The sales level at 400,000. At sales level of 400,000, the company's degree of operating leverage is 8. At this level, fixed expenses is equal to, ganyan siya. So, alam natin, meron tayong sales na 400,000. That is equal to 100%. Meron tayong variable expenses na 75. So, pwede natin makuha kaagad yung CMR na 25%. So, multiply lang natin 400,000 multiplied by 25%, makuha natin ay 100,000 na contribution margin. Tapos, alam natin na ang DOL is equal to the contribution margin over the operating income. Diba? Alam natin ang DOL is equal to 8 at alam natin ang contribution margin ay equal to, ano siya? Equal to 100,000. Diba? So, 100,000, tapos ang operating income hindi pa natin alam. So, operating income is equal to 100,000 divided by 8, which is equal to 12,500. Ito yun, oh. Ayan. Nakita nyo? So, alam natin, ang contribution margin, 100,000. Alam natin, operating income, 12,500. Squeeze out natin ang fixed cost, which is equal to 87,500. So, that is letter B. Alright, number 49 na tayo. One of the products of Namcha Corporation has a sales of 184,000 and a total cost and expenses amounting to 211,600. Fixed cost amounts to 86,480, 49,680 of which are unavoidable of whether the product will be dropped or not. If the forecasted sales for next year amounts to 110,000, should the company continue or shut down the product? So, ang gagawin natin dito, kukunin natin yung shutdown point. So, paano ba natin kukunin yung shutdown point? Una, kita nyo to, total cost. Given, 211,600. Sabi niya, may fixed cost tayo dyan na 86,480. So, pag dineduct natin ang fixed cost sa ating total cost, makuha natin ang variable cost. Ayan, 125,120. Ayan, so meron tayong sales na 184,000. Pag dineduct ko dyan yung variable cost, makuha natin ang contribution margin na 58,880. 58,880 ay yan ang contribution margin. Pag dinivide ko yan sa ating sales na 184,000, makuha ko ang CMR na 32%. Ayan. Given ang total cost uli natin, total fixed cost na 86,480. Pag dineduct ko ang unavoidable portion na given na 49,680, makuha ko ang avoidable fixed cost na 36,800. Ngayon, ang shutdown point ay equal to the avoidable fixed cost all over the CMR. Now, ano bang avoidable fixed cost natin? 36,800. Ito yun. Divided by 32%. Ito yun, CMR. Di ba? Makuha natin shutdown point na 115,000. Yan ang shutdown point natin. Kung ang forecasted sale daw natin ay 110, anong gagawin natin? Continue or shutdown? Ang gagawin natin ay shutdown. Since the sale is below the shutdown point. Okay? So, lugi na tayo dyan. Okay. Number 50, BCV company had 80,000 income using absorption costing. It has no variable manufacturing cost. The beginning inventory was 10,000 and ending inventory was 20,000. Determine the income under variable costing. So, under variable costing, para natin yung kukunin. Alam natin na lahat ng inventory ay fixed cost. Kasi sabi nga dito, no variable manufacturing cost. So, ibig sabihin na ito ay change in profit. Yan na kagad yun. Yung difference ng ating beginning and ending inventory, yan yung change in profit. Ang tanong, sinong mas malaki? Alam natin na production is greater than sales. Bakit? Dahil ang ending inventory ay mas mataas kaysa sa beginning inventory. Pag mas mataas ang ending inventory kaysa sa beginning inventory, alam natin na ang absorption costing net income ay mas mataas kaysa sa variable costing net income. Alam natin ang absorption costing net income ay 80,000. Alam natin na ang change in profit ay 10,000. Yan ang change in profit dahil yan ang change in fixed cost. 'Di ba? Kung alam natin yan, alam natin na mas mababa dapat ang variable costing. So, 80 minus 10 is equal to 70,000. So, reconcile pa nga natin para mas maganda. Para mas naintindihan nyo. Gagawin natin net income absorption. Gagawin natin siya net income variable. Re-reconcile natin siya. Bakit naging ganyan? Wait, pangit. Ito. Reconcile natin siya. Ayan. So, alam natin, net income under absorption costing is equal to 80,000. Ang ating beginning inventory. Anong gagawin natin sa beginning inventory? Ang beginning inventory kasi ay fixed cost. So, kung fixed cost yan, tapos naiwan yan sa beginning inventory, ibig sabihin, last year, na-incurred yan as expense under variable costing. Ngayon, na-incur siya as cost of goods sold. So, kung na-incur siya as cost of goods sold this year, na dapat last year pa siya under variable costing, kailangan natin siyang i-add back. Kasi nasobrahan ng ating cost of goods sold. Tama ba? Add back natin siya. Ayan. Kung na-add back na natin siya, ang ending inventory naman ito, 20,000. Ang 20,000 na yan, that is fixed cost for the current production. Current production yan. Kasi nga, ina-assume natin na FIFO to. Ibig sabihin, etong 20,000 na to, na-incur to this year, pero hindi pa siya nagiging cost of goods sold this year at nilagay muna siya sa ending inventory. Pero under variable costing, since nga fixed cost ito'y dapat naging expense this year. So, i-deduct natin siya. Kino-convert kasi natin yung absorption to variable. So, 80,000 plus 10,000 minus 20,000 is equal to 70,000. Ganun lang siya. Same yan, lalabas. Pero ito kasi, kailangan nyo pang mag-isip pag ginagamit itong tinuro kong last. Ito. Kailangan nyo pang i-analyze. Pero dito, basta alam nyo yung format, alam nyo na ang increase in production, that is the increase in profit dahil yan ay increase in fixed cost in inventory. Ayan ang difference ng ating absorption and variable net income. Nakuha nyo ba yun? So, 80,000 and 70,000. Ang difference nila is 10,000. Ayan. Ganun lang siya. Number 51 to 53. Actually, ito, kaya itong sagot